Wow, okay, so, but what would you say is Israel's own foreign policy towards Nigeria?
The strengthening, and I can tell you, when I was sent to Nigeria, I was mandated, my mandate was to strengthen the great relations between those two countries, between our two countries.
How differently do you hope to achieve this, apart from what you've been doing?
As I mentioned, there are so many issues that are mutual to both countries. Just give me more times. Amarachi, I need more times. I told you, as I told you, I'm 3 months here, and unfortunately, this is my first visit to Lagos. There are so many issues. There are so many people who want to meet with me, so many companies. Last week, I was privileged to visit Port Harcourt because there was a great ceremony which the First Lady, Dame Dr. Patience Jonathan, she came to inaugurate the first international school after our former Prime Minister was assassinated, Yitzhak Rabin. So this was Port Harcourt. Now I'm coming to Lagos. I want to visit all the country. I want to meet with all the governors. There are so many mutual projects between Nigeria and Israel. I need more time.
And it all sounds like music in our ears, actually, because that's the good news. Exactly, it's the sort of good news that we actually do need to hear. But let's talk about international issues. Now, of course, Syria is big on the agenda for both the G8 leaders who just met. Unfortunately, yes, but Israel does have a stand on Syria.
It's our next-door neighbor. Yes. It's our next-door neighbor in the north. You know what? From my hometown, Jerusalem, of Tel Aviv, where we live now, that's a 2.5 hours drive. We are very attentive to what's going on in Syria.
What do you make of what's going on in Syria? Because President Bashar al-Assad believes that the rebels are being supported by terrorists, and there's a lot going on. You've even carried out preemptive strikes on some border towns.
No, we are very, as I told you, attentive. We are looking into what's going on in Syria. I don't know what will happen there tomorrow morning. The only thing I can tell you is that we are looking into it. For us, what's important that things will be stabilized there because, again, this is a long arm and influence of Iran. This is the influence of international terrorism. That is a dangerous arm of Iran. This is a dangerous arm of the terrorist organization of Hezbollah. And we, not only we, I mean we, when I say we, I mean the international community. And you mentioned the G8 in Northern Ireland. They're looking into Syria from Washington, from Moscow, from Ankara, and see what's happening in Turkey these days. They're all looking into Syria. Thank God. So things should be more stabilized there.
What would be stability for you? Would it be President Bashar al-Assad stepping down, or would it be the rebels taking over?
It's not that I don't think. Both situations are dangerous on one hand and could be better if they'll be more stabilized. The whole Middle East went through what is being called, quote unquote, Arab Spring, and I would have called it Arab Winter. What has been happened there in the last, it's almost 3 years. We are seeing, we have been witnessed in the last, it's almost 3 years, a very shaky Middle East. That's why we have to be very careful, Amarachi. Israel should be strong. Israel should be stabilized, and Israel should take care about herself because of the shaky Middle East that we have witnessed in the last 3 years. And that's what we are doing.
And it's even more shaky because of your relationship with Iran, whom you believe is developing nuclear weapons. You feel they've already crossed the red line.
You have just, absolutely. You have just said, it couldn't be said better. Amarachi. It couldn't be said better.
Yeah, but does Israel have proof that Iran is developing nuclear weapons? I mean, even though...
It's not Israel, it's it's the International Atomic Agency.
But you're at the forefront of...
It's not we are at the forefront, the world is in the forefront. Russia on top of Iran. It's America. It's unfortunately, I wish we would have had here a map of the Middle East. We are there. We live there. But the world is in the forefront of Iran. It's Russia, it's Jordan, it's America, it's Europe. Take a look at the map. I would have asked your viewers to take a look at the map and see where is Iran, where is Europe, where is Russia, where is Israel.
You know why I say
yes,
that?
We live in this neighborhood.
Yeah, because at the last UN General Assembly, your Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, of course, with a diagram, was showing where Iran was, with the development of nuclear weapons and so on. You say it's the IAEA, but you're sort of forcing other countries to believe what you believe, that Iran is developing nuclear weapons.
Because Prime Minister Netanyahu, he called the bluff. He called the bluff out of Iran.
But are you disappointed the U.S. is not really support?
You know what? This is not the issue. The issue is Iran. The issue is Iran. And I may say that we have taken a flashlight and we put it above Iran. But the problem is there.
But do you still feel insecure with the new president-elect, Hassan Rouhani?
We would like the world to see the danger of Iran. And unless Iran will be changed, the danger is there. Is still there.
Let's talk about the Gaza Strip and Israeli settlements there.
There is no Israeli settlement in the Gaza Strip. We evacuated the Gaza Strip almost 9 years ago. Prime Minister Sharon carried out a disengagement from Gaza on 2005.
So you have no case with the Palestinians?
We have an issue with the Palestinians, and we would like to see a solution, what we call the two-state solution, with the Palestinians both in the Gaza Strip and in Judea and Samaria, the West Bank. We call upon the Palestinians to come from our side tomorrow morning, because now it's already late, 5:25. Otherwise, I would have said, in Israel it's 7:25 in the evening. Otherwise, I would have said, let's see them tonight. And that's what Secretary of State Kerry is coming around. The election in America was not long ago, and he was already in the region 5 times. Let's see them. Let's see Mahmoud Abbas, Abu Mazen coming to the negotiating table. We would like to negotiate with them and to come to sign an agreement on a solution of peace treaty with the Palestinian, that both sides will live in peace. That's what we would like to do, to achieve. God forbid, we have established the state of Israel 65 years ago. Both sides need to live in peace in the region. We need it more than anything else.
Well, as we close this interview, President Shimon Peres, as you said, celebrated 90 years. He really doesn't look it. I mean, for a president, he could be... I could take him for a 70-year-old,
Even less. I was his assistant in the year 98. This was, 25 years ago. He was then 65. He didn't change. He didn't change. It's unbelievable.
And he's still just as...
full of energy.
I'm telling you.
You could have seen him. We watched him on TV this morning singing with Barbara Streisand. She doesn't look her age, and he doesn't look his age. But before you close, let me say a word of few things. First of all, to you, Amarachi, and to Channel. But let me thank the Nigerian people and the Nigerian President, His Majesty Dr. Jonathan Goodluck. Thank you for hosting me and my wife Ayelet.